We're here at the 4th Annual Memory Lane Auto Fest in Harrisburg, Illinois. We're here going to look at some terrific automobiles, trucks, all the things that are going on here. Stick around. Let's go take a look. We are here with Bruce Allen, one of the organizers of the Memory Lane Auto Fest. And a little background, Bruce, what got this show started and how long has it been going? And just give us a little background.
Well, years ago, my youngest son was over the Park District, and he wanted a car show for their Labor Day festivities. And our first show was like 14 cars. It's pretty humble beginnings. And it's grown into what you see today, and a lot of fun. It's a lot of work to put it on, but it's kind of a pleasure at the end of the day.
When you talk about car shows, you talk about custom cars. We've got one here, undescribable because it is just that neat. It's a 1950 Mercury owned by Mr. Ward here, and if you would, sir, thank you for being here. Tell us some about your car.
Well, it's a 1950 Mercury. It's got a 4.5-inch chop on the top. It's lowered front and rear. It's got a 302 Ford engine with comp cam and 4-barrel. It's got air conditioning, power steering, power brakes, custom interior. It's just custom all the way around.
I guess that's what I would call the traditional custom. The top is what, 4.5, did you say?
4.5, yeah.
4.5. And
the first one I ever saw of these was in 1953 in Hot Rod magazine, and Sam Barris had done it. And I said, someday I'm going to own one of them. Well, it took 60 years, but I've got it now.
Everybody loves a long roof, and we've got one here owned by Chuck Leonard. And Chuck, tell us about your long roof here.
I got my Nomad about 3 years ago. It took me a little over a year to build it. Did all the work myself, motor, interior, the whole 9 yards. Stayed out of my garage at home. It's a 56 Nomad with a 6-liter out of an 07 pickup truck in it, running shockwave airbags, and but about 4,000 miles on it in the last year. So we drive it.
It's a driver then.
It's a driver.
It's not a trailer queen.
If you see it on a trailer, it's broke down.
We're here with Richard Rumsey today to talk about his car. It's a 55 Chevy, and it's reminiscent of what I like to call the 60s gasser movement. And Richard, tell us about your car.
Well, I started racing the car in 1969, raced it through the 70s till about 77, and in modified and gas classes. Then I parked the car for about 30-some years, raised a family, and 2 years ago we got it back out, and we've been ET racing it ever since.
So, that's terrific. What size engine does it have in it?
It's a 406 small block Chevrolet.
We're glad you brought it out today to Memory Lane Auto Fest, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
Every car or truck has some kind of a story behind it, and we're going to talk to Grant about the story behind this car right here. Grant, glad to have you here. And
thank you.
Tell us about your car.
Well, my great-grandpa bought it in 1961 new, and he lived in East Tennessee. He drove it from 61 until 1983 when he died. And in 85, my grandpa, David Loudy from Paris, Tennessee, brought it home, and he used to take it to car shows, and that's a picture of my grandpa there. And as you can see, won a few trophies with it and everything. And as far as we know, everything's original on it.
It's unique. You don't see these types of cars on the road anymore, or even at car shows. And Grant, I'm glad you brought it out here, and I appreciate this story. I really do.
Thank you.
Another terrific 55 Chevy we've got here, owned by Andy and Amanda Meadows. Spectacular, again, paint job, beautiful upholstery. Guys, tell us about your car here.
Well, it's a 55 Chevy 2-door sedan, Bel Air. It's candy brandy wine. The interior was done by Ace Custom Upholstery in Fairfield. It's got an LS1.
That's his favorite car. It's always been his dream car to get a 55 Chevy. It took us a couple years of searching and finding one, and we finally found it. Took us
5 years.
5 years to find it. So, and
we've owned it for 8 years now.
Been driving it for about 7 years. Took us about a year to do it.
Yep.
Good. Andy and Amanda, thank you for telling us about your car. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
This is a 1930 Model A 4 2-door sedan I built. chopped, channeled, built the frame, the big block, blown. This little toy cruiser.
It's nice. I would consider that probably what you would say is a traditional type hot rod.
Yes, I consider it. I've got all the panels for the body. I own a body shop. I just haven't had time to do the body and paint it. Because the Brat rods, I consider mine still more of a hot rod.
Right.
So what I built it for is to drive.
That's, yeah.
And it's kind of one reason I don't want to paint it up, because I paint it up and I won't want to drive it.
You don't want to scratch
Then
it
I'll
up
be
or
afraid of
anything.
scratching. So if I leave it like that, I can recoat the black in an afternoon. You know.
That's nice.
So,
it is nice. It really is. We're here with Mr. Bryce Roberts, and this truck is just something that needs to be seen. And we're going to talk to him about the history of this truck. Mr. Roberts, thank you. And tell us about this truck here.
Okay, I bought it from the original owner in 1968. If you'll notice here under the hood, it says Titchener's First 1953. Titchener Chevrolet at Hartford, Kentucky went in business 1953. That's the first vehicle they sold.
Wow, that is amazing. And you said this truck is just near original.
Yes, it is. It sure is. Still has the original wheels and everything on it.
That is just
Sure does.
unbelievable. This is history right here, and it's great. It really is. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank y'all.
We've seen another super car show here today. Appreciate you sticking around and seeing all the different interviews. And I'm telling you right now, don't forget, please, take a kid to a car show. They really will appreciate it. Well, that wraps up another 4th annual Memory Lane Auto Fest show here at, he does it every time.